Hey everyone, my name is Adison Young. Thank you so much for joining me for my presentation. This is part of the Fort Collins Startup Week PR/marketing track sponsored by MAPR Agency. We are a full service communications firm in Northern Colorado. My role as an art director and web developer at MAPR often includes branding. We oversee a wide variety of client brands. Whether we are the designers of the logo or if they have an existing brand, it is our job to make sure the look and feel of their company is consistent all the way around. Everything from their business cards, virtual presentations, to their website needs to be cohesive. This is important because branding defines the mission, vision, and values of a company. So let's dive in. Does your branding need an update? During this presentation, we will cover brand elements, logo simplicity, brand assets and file formats, as well as your website. We'll start off with brand elements. What are key brand elements? These include the company name, logo, colors, slogan, typography, and graphics. If you are missing any of these elements, your brand needs an update. Branding starts with the name, then a logo. The logo encompasses the typography and color of the brand. I recommend having a version of your logo with and without the company slogan. Graphics, icons, images, etc. These are wonderful to have on hand for a wide variety of materials, whether you're using it on your website, social media, or in print. This is an example of how we have designed our logo and image assets at MAPR. You can see our logo with and without our SMG expansion tagline, brand images, and icons. What does good branding look like? When approaching logo design, I aim for three things: simple, clever, timeless. Simplicity is good for scale, cleverness is good for wit, and timelessness is good for longevity. So let's start with simplicity. If your logo is complex, it's most likely not recognizable when displayed on a small scale. This is a branding update red flag. Less clutter and distraction allows for more straightforward messaging, so the simpler the better. Companies don't want their audience to be confused. A wonderful example of simplistic logo redesign is Apple, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, but it's worth noting. The original design is too complex, especially when displayed at a small scale. If this is the case with your logo, it's a sign your brand needs to be updated. As you can see, the redesigned and simple version of their logo is much more obvious and recognizable in a variety of sizes. Could you imagine if they tried to incorporate the original logo on their products? Apple branding is iconic because it's simple, clever, and timeless. The icon is easy to recognize. It's so clever, they don't have to utilize a type treatment for the company name. It was also designed using the golden ratio. The logo is timeless because it has maintained shape, but evolved over the years. The icon has existed in a rainbow color scheme, had gradient effects, and now lives in a flat design. Nike followed a similar redesign approach. An apple and a swoosh are simple icons. They were cleverly designed and are globally recognized. Here are some other simplistic logos of successful companies. I'd like to point out FedEx, which not only utilizes a type treatment, but also has the clever touch of an arrow icon in between the E and the X letters. If you are thinking to yourself that your logo is complex and needs a redesign, I recommend checking out Dribbble.com for design inspiration and to see what others are doing in your industry branding-wise. If you aren't familiar with Dribbble, it's a social network for creatives and designers. This is a great resource for simple, clever, and timeless logo ideas. It's unique in the fact that you have to be invited, which elevates the quality of work displayed. These are a few examples of some clever work I've discovered there. The Fibonacci logo. The simple design cleverly conveys a 3D letter F. The bear logo. The simple circle shape has the recognizable nose and mouth of a bear without being too obvious. The Winehouse logo. This is two wine glasses paired at the bottom, which creates the shape of a house. And the pet grooming logo conveys empathy with the heart and the paw combo. When approaching a logo project, I break the branding down into two separate parts. The first is the icon and the second is the type treatment. It's nice to be able to have your logo in various formats: vertical, horizontal, with and without a tagline if you have one, the icon by itself, etc. You can see that in all of the examples provided here. This leads me into the second and more technical part of my presentation, brand assets and file formats. Do you have your logo in all of the following formats? And if not, this might be a red flag that you need a branding update. It is ideal to have your logo in full color, black and white, as well as reversed, which is an all-white version of your logo on a transparent background. So you're able to utilize your logo in a wide variety of environments. Having all of these color options in a variety of formats means that you can have your logo placed correctly wherever it is going. Let's talk about vectors. Vectors are infinitely scalable versions of your logo that can be opened in programs like Adobe Illustrator. These file formats include AI, EPS, and SVG. Side note, if you are working with a designer, these are the files they are going to want. And if you do not have your logo in a vector format, this is a red flag, you need a branding update. Other formats that are good to have on hand are PNGs and JPEGs. PNGs are versions of your logo on a transparent background, whereas JPEGs are versions of your logo not on a transparent background, and it's usually white. Another part of brand assets are brand guidelines. A brand document outlines how and where to use the logo. This avoids any confusion of its use, no matter who it's handed off to, whether it be an employee, for sponsorship placement, if you're having merchandise being made, etc. This document often includes color codes for print and for web, proper logo spacing, and use of typography guidelines. Okay, so we've got over brand elements and logo simplicity. That's the foundation. How the brand exists in the world is our next topic. One of the most important things a company needs is a website. The world we live in now, more than ever, relies on the web and web presence. You might have a great logo, but if your website doesn't match the quality and look and feel of that design, you're missing a mark. Because the web is such a prominent part of our lives, it's also a very prominent part of branding. Your website might need an update if it's not responsive, optimized, and has search engine optimization. Responsive design means that your site looks great on all devices from desktops, laptops, tablets, and most importantly, phones. Site optimization means good website performance. This means your site loads at a quick speed. SEO or search engine optimization will allow users to find you on the web with keyword searches. So does your branding need an update? Do you have all the essential brand elements? Is your logo simplistic? Do you have all the file formats you need? And do you have a good website? Whether it's a modification of a current idea or an entire new approach, branding updates have to happen. And if you're going to update your brand, you might as well do it right. Make sure you have all the essential brand elements. This starts with the company name and slogan. Then nail the design of your logo. Get a simple, clever, and timeless look. Make sure you have a wide variety of logo file formats. This includes everything from vectors to PNGs, JPEGs, etc. Have brand guidelines. This is a perk and will help your logo, typography, and colors from being incorrectly used. And have an awesome website. Now more than ever is the time to look good online, so make sure you're not missing an opportunity with an outdated, slow site. That sums it up. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions about what I discussed here today, I'm happy to answer them. Just email me through our website. The email address is on your screen. Thank you all for your interest in all of the great content at Fort Collins Startup Week.